Welcome to the Clique podcast. I'm Dani Watson, a mindset and manifestation expert and founder of the Clique, a company that helps women overcome their fears and limiting beliefs to create a life and business that they love. Within this podcast, I will help you get clear on what you want, identify the blocks that are holding you back, transform your mindset and raise your vibration so that you can co-create magic with the universe. If you are looking to design a life that truly sets your soul on fire and manifest more success and abundance, then you are in the right place. Hello ladies, happy Monday. I hope you've all had an amazing weekend and feeling refreshed. I know I certainly am. It was a glorious weekend here in the UK. We had amazing sunshine, a summer that actually felt like summer should, which isn't something we can normally say for the UK. Our summers can be a little bit hit and miss. It was almost actually a little bit too hot, but I dare not say that because in the UK we moan when it's raining, and then as soon as the sun comes out we start moaning that it's too hot. But yeah, it was a bit of a scorcher. I am fortunate enough to have a pool at my house, so it's a very small pool and it is pretty cold, but it was definitely refreshing and very much appreciated this weekend. I also took my daughter there's a place near where we live in the Cotswolds called Cotswold Farm Park. So we went there and we looked at all the farmyard animals, and there's like a playground thing there. So yeah, I had a really nice weekend and I really hope you guys did too. So for today's podcast episode then, I am doing a topic which has been something that actually comes up a lot through the emails that we get sent across, and that is how to figure out your purpose, how to figure out what it is that you want to do in life. Now, you may be listening to this and thinking, well, I already know what my purpose is. Maybe you've already decided to become a coach and you know that that's what your purpose is. But maybe there's some of you listening to this that don't know what your thing is. You're still trying to figure that out. Or equally, maybe you're a coach and this is something you help your clients with, helping them figure out their purpose. Or maybe that's kind of what you want to go down in your path as a coach. So this is a question that, as I said, we get asked a lot. And I thought I would do a podcast episode on it because I know for me, when I was in my 20s, one of my sort of biggest struggles was knowing what I wanted to do in life. So for those of you who know my story, I studied law at university, I went to law school, and I really realised, I probably realised actually within my first few weeks of starting my degree, that law wasn't really what my heart was telling me to do. I went along with it because it felt at the time like a safe option, and I didn't really consider what other alternatives were out there. I didn't know what other alternatives were out there. And so I found myself down this path. And then when I started to question, well, is this what I really want? Do I really want to be in the corporate world? And I found myself saying, no, I didn't know what my other options were. I didn't know what to do as an alternative. And I know a lot of women find themselves at this point of unfulfillment, not really knowing what they want to do, but, not really knowing how to actually figure out what their thing is. So, as I said, this episode is either for you if you're going through this, or maybe it's something that you imagine supporting your clients with. But where I really want to start is with what you do know. Because quite often we focus so much on, well, I don't know what I want to do. We focus on what we don't yet know, rather than tuning in to the things that we are aware of. So it might be that you don't know the exact career path you want to take or the exact business you want to start, but you can start with what you are aware of. Now, getting clarity on your desires and your goals, often, I think, and this is because we often don't give ourselves to truly allow ourselves to think about what we really want. Okay, so we spend our whole lives conforming to what we think we should want or being influenced by what we think we should do. And then when we come to sit down and say, well, what do I really want? Because we've never asked ourselves that question before, it often leaves us feeling a bit stuck. Okay? And so then, trying to figure out our purpose in, just one day or in a short space of time, it's almost like putting a lot of pressure on ourselves. So rather than trying to have it all figured out in one go, start with what you do know. Start from there. So this is actually something that we do as part of the Clique Academy, so our coach certification program. One of the things that we train our students in is how to help your clients get clear on their goals. And this type of clarity session normally happens at the beginning of a coaching relationship, helping a client figure out exactly what they want. And the reason for this is because obviously you can't get to where you're going unless you know what that destination looks like. And the point of this clarity process is to really help a client uncover what exactly they really want, give them that time to really process what their authentic desires are, free from that sense of what they feel like they should do, or free from, limiting beliefs. Okay? And again, often clients will go through a clarity session and they may say like, well, I don't really know what I want. And this is where, again, it's about starting with what you do know. And a really good exercise here is an exercise around connecting with how you want to feel. Okay, so quite often we may not know exactly what our purpose is, that exact career path or that exact business idea. But chances are you probably have a good understanding of the emotions that you want to feel. Okay, and that's where you want to start. So it might be knowing that you want to feel freedom. You want to feel that you have more freedom. You may want to feel creative. Now, what's really powerful about getting clear on what you do know now? So how do you want to feel? Like, what kind of values do you want from your path? What kind of qualities and skills do you want to be able to utilize on your path? The more you start getting clear on what you do know, the clearer you will start to get on the things that you don't yet know. Clarity breeds more clarity. Okay? So remember, the law of attraction, what we focus on expands. So again, if you're saying like, I don't know what I want, and you're constantly focusing on what you don't yet know, you're going to create more uncertainty. You're going to create more of a lack of clarity. But when you start feeling more clear on what you do know, that clarity, as I said, will breed more clarity and answers will start to appear. One of the beautiful quotes that I love, and I think this is a Martin Luther King quote, and he says, you don't need to have to see the whole staircase. You just need to be able to take that first step. And this is really, this step here really embodies that quote. You don't have to have it all figured out straight away. Start with what you do know, and the path will start to unfold for you. So think about how you want to feel. Think about the kind of environment you want to work in. Think about, what does your ideal day look like? Where are you working from? Who are you connecting with? What kind of work are you doing? Now, you may not know the specific ins and outs of that work, but how are you feeling as you do that work? What are the skills and qualities you already possess that you want to be able to demonstrate in the work that you do? Focus on what you know right now and start from there. Now, an exercise that ties in quite nicely with this is an exercise called the Perfect Day exercise. And for anybody that's been through our free Freedom, Abundance and Impact course, it's included in there. And so you can go through that. Basically, the Perfect Day exercise, it's designed to take you through your ideal working day from start to finish. And the idea here is that there's no limits on this day. You can map out this day exactly how you want it to. There's no restrictions here. You are allowing yourself to really dream big and think beyond what your current reality presents you with. And really getting clear on, if I was to have an ideal working day, what would that look like from start to finish? Right from opening up my eyes in the morning to going to bed at night. Because that can often leave a lot of clues. So, for example, it might be that, let's say you've got this idea of, a business that you want to create, and you start mapping out your ideal, perfect working day, and you realize that your ideal working day, you are waking up and you're able to work from wherever you choose. So you've decided that actually travel is a big thing for you, and you want to be able to wake up one day and you're in Bali and you are able to go and spend some time at the beach, then go to a cafe and work from there, and then, have this really, flexible working day where you're not pinned to one location. But then maybe your business idea doesn't tie in with this working day. Maybe your business idea is something that is location dependent, or your career idea is location dependent and doesn't give you that flexibility. So the idea is your perfect day exercise can shed clues on whether the ideas that you have for your purpose actually match up with the lifestyle that you want to live. And often we think about, well, what do I want to do for a career? But really the question that we should first be asking ourselves is, how do I want to live? That's the most important. Is the work that we're building, the career that we're building, the business that we're building, is that aligned with our truest self, of how we really want to live in this world, how we want to show up, how we want to experience our life? And I did this exercise. At the time, I was in a job, so I wasn't location independent. I had to be based in London because that's where my work was. And I realized when writing out my perfect day, the first thing that I wrote down was that I'm waking up and, today I'm waking up and I'm by the beach. And it was the feeling of having that choice to wake up and I could be wherever I wanted. Okay, that freedom to travel. And I realized that what I'd been creating for myself in terms of a career was completely out of alignment with what my ideal life looked like. Now, in terms then of getting some answers about your path, learn how to connect to your higher wisdom. So often we look to other people to give us advice and guidance on what we should do, when really the only person who truly knows the answer to that is yourself. So I remember when I was about 16, so just as in the UK, you're kind of preparing to do your A-levels, you've done your GCSEs, and you're thinking about, well, what do I take for my A-levels? What do I then perhaps go on and take at university? And we were offered a session with a career counsellor, I think she was called. Basically, it was a very, very short, probably no more than 20 minutes long session with somebody that would give us some advice on what career path that we should take. And for whatever reason, during that session, the idea of me studying law came into that. And she suggested that this would be, a good path for me. I should consider it as an option. And this then followed by meetings with teachers and things as I went through my A-levels, again, more meetings with other people who were giving advice about what the different options would be. It was never really a case of, well, what do you want to do? What feels good to you? I was heavily influenced by these suggestions that other people had made for me, without ever questioning whether that was really being true to me. And I think this is the thing. Often we put our trust so often in other people, expecting, or sometimes hoping that they know what's best for us. But again, when we do that, we're actually disconnecting ourselves from our power and from our own intuition, our own higher wisdom. It's great to get career advice from other people, but this should never be at the cost of your own intuition. And I, at the time, was completely disconnected from my own intuition. I don't think I even knew what my intuition was at the time when I decided to embark on a path of law, because if I did, I certainly would not have chosen that path. Your intuition is what your heart is telling you versus what your head is telling you. And I spent most of my teens and my 20s listening to my head over my heart. Your head is your logical, the logical side part of you. It's saying, well, this is what you should do. This is what the safe option is. It kind of weighs up those pros and cons. And I remember thinking about my decision to study law. I was thinking, well, look, it's a really safe career path. It's got a very clear career progression. It pays well. It felt for me like the safe option. Weighing up the benefits of that career in my head, I was like, yeah, you know what? This feels like a safe option. But never once did I say, is this truly what I'm passionate about? Is this true to me? If money was no object, would I be following this? And so now looking back, I know the importance of connecting to your heart and understanding what your higher wisdom is really telling you. Because when you are led by your heart, that is when you will create the life that you want. That is when you will end up on the path that is meant for you. When you listen to your heart over your head. And how you connect to your heart and to your higher wisdom is going to be through meditation. Silence is when your higher wisdom speaks the loudest. And so if you're thinking right now, I don't know what I want to do, have you truly asked your heart the question? Have you truly connected with your higher wisdom and allowed yourself to hear the answers? And if not, this is something you may want to bring into meditation. So having a meditation session where you set your intention for that session to gain some clarity on what your purpose is and what your path is. And it may not happen from one session. It may not be that you get any answers from that first session. It may take a while for you to start allowing yourself to hear what your intuition is really telling you. I promise, as soon as you allow yourself to be quiet, that's often when you hear the answers the loudest. Now, on more of a practical note, actually going out and researching what else is out there. I spent a lot of my 20s saying, I don't know what I want to do, but it was mainly because I wasn't aware of what my options are. At school, I'd only really been presented with, career paths. You go to uni, you study this so that you can then get on this graduate scheme and pursue this route. When I was at uni, the only people that came to talk to us about careers was either people in law, so we had lots of law firms come to us and do workshops and things, management consultancy, other people in the finance sector. So I was only ever really exposed to this kind of very corporate setting. I didn't know what my alternatives were. And I certainly didn't know what my options were in terms of starting a business. In fact, there was never a point through my whole sort of education where starting a business was considered a viable career option. It was almost as if we were assumed that we would do our A-levels and then we would go to uni and then we would get a job. There was very little emphasis on pursuing your own path. Building up your own thing and rather than getting a job, becoming your own boss. And so looking back now, I wish I'd done more research around that. I wish I'd researched what the different options were in terms of starting a business, because now I know that I was always meant to be a business owner. I was never meant to work for somebody else. I've always wanted to trailblaze my own path, but perhaps because I didn't know what the options were, I never pursued that. So research what is out there. If it is starting a business idea, go and chat with other business owners. See what other people are doing. Do your research. Have a look online. The beauty of social media is that Instagram is basically a giant what's the word I'm looking for? It's this amazing platform where there are so many people out there doing lots of different fun, exciting, creative things and making a living from it. Go and have a look and see what other people are doing. And, it's often only when we kind of see the paths that other people have taken that we get inspiration for our own. And this was actually exactly what happened with me. When I realized that I wasn't on the right path and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, I landed in the world of personal development. And I was doing a lot of work on my mindset, which led me to working with a coach, and that exposed me to the coaching world. And I was thinking, well, here's something that I didn't really know much about. And here's this world where there's these women that are doing this amazing work, working from their laptops. They are talking about subjects that they're really passionate about. This is something that's quite interesting. And so I started to do my research into coaching. I started to look at other coaches and what they were doing and how they built their business and how they figured their path out. And I started to kind of look into, well, how did their working day look like? What did their work consist of? Educating myself on that industry. And, it wasn't just coaching I considered. I looked at other different options as well. I looked at, building a product-based business. I looked at becoming a social media manager. In fact, I did for a short period of time actually offer social media management as an option until I realized actually that it was coaching that I was really drawn to. So research what is out there. You might think that I have no idea, but I promise you there'll be somebody out there doing the thing that you are meant to do as well. Okay, but you have to start doing this research. Now the next point is to really ask yourself, where is your mindset holding you back? So as I mentioned, when we teach our students in the Clique Academy, this whole clarity coaching, so how to help your clients get clear on what they want. And some of these clients are helping their clients figure out their purpose. How do you figure out what do you want in life? Often the answers that a client will come up with are not always true to their authentic selves, in that they will say they want a certain thing, or they will have ideas about what their goals are, but those goals are limited by their current mindset. Okay, and what I mean by that is that they are unable to see beyond their current belief system. So they will not set themselves a certain goal, or they won't admit that they want certain things because a part of them doesn't believe that is possible for themselves. So when it comes to, figuring out your purpose, in what way is your current belief system not allowing you to dream bigger? In what way is your current belief system holding you back from thinking that that is possible for you? So an example of this was when I kind of started to look back on my own journey, I realized there was a part of me that had always had that entrepreneurial spirit. And there was a part of me that always knew I wanted to work for myself. Even before I started in law, this was like going back to my teens. I'd always had that desire for freedom, to work for myself, to be creative. I knew in a lot of ways, I kind of knew which path I wanted to go down. But for whatever reason, I didn't pursue it. I wasn't allowing myself to pursue it. And that was largely because of my own mindset. I didn't believe I had what it took to become a business owner. I had all of these beliefs about starting a business, that it would be hard, costly, risky. I had a lot of beliefs about, the money that was needed to start a business. I assumed that, you need to have lots and lots of capital to start a business. So my belief system, my mindset was holding me back from really getting the clarity I needed. It was holding me back from getting clear on what was really true to me and following a path that was really true to me. I wasn't allowing myself to completely admit what I wanted because there was a part of me that didn't believe that that was possible. And so often when you go through this clarity process, either for yourself or with your clients, it may be that what you initially come up with, it may change once you've made shifts in terms of your mindset. Once you start expanding your mind to what is possible for you, some of the things you initially thought you wanted may actually not be what you wanted at all. And we see this a lot. Often our clients, our students rather, when they are working with their clients, when they're coaching their clients, and then they start to help their clients with their mindset, often their goals start to change, or their goals become bigger, or what they want becomes clearer, because they've started to realize what is possible for them. They started to tap into their potential. So often this clarity coaching, it doesn't always just come at the beginning of a relationship. It's often something that people will come back to, once they've made those mindset shifts. And this was exactly what happened for me in my journey. I did a lot of work on my own mindset and my own belief system. And it was through doing that I was able to get fully clear on what I wanted, but also have the confidence to actually go for it as well. And obviously that's important. It's one thing to know what you want to do and to know what your purpose is, but do you then have the courage to act upon that? And that's often where the missing link is for a lot of people. It's not that they don't necessarily know what they want to do, but they're actually lacking the self-belief to go for it. And so they convince themselves, well, it's not what I really want. Knowing deep down that it is, but they just don't fully believe that it is possible. So where is your mindset holding you back? Now, the final thing that I want to talk about on this is to look out for signs. I speak about signs from the universe a lot, paying attention to the signs that the universe is sending you. And when it comes to your purpose, the universe will send you signs. There is no such thing as coincidence. It is all synchronicity. So it might be, somebody that you happen to have a conversation with that is in, pursuing a certain path. Or it might be something that pops up on your news feed. Something that catches your attention and sparks your interest. Pay attention. If something lands in your lap, there is a reason why you've come across that thing. A lot of people go through our Freedom, Abundance and Impact course, our free course, and they say, it's like Dani, it's like, wow, as if magic, this course appeared into my life just as I was trying to figure out my purpose, just as I was at that point of not knowing what I wanted to do, and your course showed up into my life. And they think of it as this like amazing coincidence. And I'm like, no, it's not. It landed into your life because this is a clear sign from the universe that this is what you are meant to do. And so act upon that. Okay? The universe is always sending you signs. You have to pay attention. But not only that, you have to act upon the signs the universe is sending. Okay? These little nudges, we're shown them all the time. So pay attention, ladies. But I hope that gave you some clarity for those of you who are struggling to figure out your purpose, or perhaps those of you, as I said, maybe you're thinking that this is something you want to help your clients with. Such an amazing gift to be able to offer your clients as a coach, this clarity and confidence to figure out what your purpose is and to actually then act upon it. And it's something actually that a lot of our students, it's a niche that a lot of our students end up stepping into. And yeah, what a wonderful niche to be in. So yeah, hopefully this gave you a lot of food for thought today. Thank you all for being with me here today on this sunny Monday. At least it is here in the UK at the time of recording. Yeah, have a great rest of your day, ladies, and I look forward to connecting with you again very soon. If you are wanting to build your own successful online coaching business, make sure to check out Freedom, Abundance and Impact, our free 10-day business and mindset course for coaches and aspiring coaches. To access, simply head to wearetheclique.com and click free course in the menu.